Hey guys, welcome to Trail Kale. I'm Helen, and in this review I'm taking a look at the On Cloudspark. That's these shoes here. Now the On Cloudspark is a road running shoe that's designed for high propulsion. So what does that mean? Well, it's a running shoe that's designed to help propel you forward as you run. So if you're thinking about improving your speed, or you just really want to run with a focus on moving forward and not just jogging along, you really want to get your speed up, perhaps you want to lengthen your stride, work on all your running form, then this shoe might be something that's going to appeal to you. In this review, I'm going to go over the key features of the On Cloudspark and what makes it different from other running shoes, how they perform on the run based on my run testing on the roads and paths around Trail Kale HQ here in Northern California, and ultimately whether they're worth the price tag, which for these shoes is $160. So before getting into the key features of these shoes, I thought it was interesting to give you a little bit of background about these shoes and why On designed them and how they went about it, because they took a different approach with these shoes than they have done with previous shoes. And the main thing that they've done differently with these is they've started with a woman's foot, so a woman's last, as they call it in the shoe business, the shape of a woman's foot, as opposed to starting with a man's and then modifying it to meet the unique kind of differences, men's and women's. So for example, men's feet tend to be a bit wider at the heel than women's feet. There's other very subtle differences as well. They've started with a women's and then adjusted that for men's. So as a female running shoe reviewer, I was interested to get hold of these shoes and see how they perform and see how they fit with that knowledge in mind. Another thing I thought was interesting, which I didn't quite understand in the marketing material, is, I'll read to you, they've been engineered for people who run in a seated position. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think I run in a seated position, and I'd look really weird if I did. So I really don't know what that means. But then they go on to say, expect max airtime and powerful takeoffs. That sounds more like it. Running in the seated position seems awkward. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think that means. I'm really curious to know what insights behind that phrase. Anyway, okay, so key features of these running shoes then. You've already taken a look at them. I think I would like to just take a pause and say how good looking and sleek these shoes are. I really, really like what they've done with the upper and with the lacing. The lacing really just works. They are a very streamlined looking running shoe. So if you're looking for something that doesn't look too bulky, too chunky, or too much like a really bright, garish running shoe, they're available in these subtle colors like the one I've got here, which I think is really tasteful and really nice. So potentially you might want to just buy them to wear them just as your everyday shoe because you like the look of them. I know a lot of people are going to want to do that. Okay, so key features then. These are medium cushion running shoes, definitely not very plush. I'd say they're definitely on the more responsive side, which makes sense because they're designed for this forward propulsion that On's talking about. That's the sort of runner they're targeted at. They're not for you if you want something really cushioned that's really going to be something you can run for miles and miles and not really think about. This one, you want to get your running form right so that you're going to be in the position to be taken off from the forefoot, because that's what these shoes are designed to do. They have a nylon speed board in here, so not a carbon fiber plate, but you can see here. They have a nylon speed board, which is designed to give you that, oh, you can hear it creak, that propulsion as you push off on your toe. I'll come on to how I experienced that on the run when I talk about my performance review in a minute. These weigh 8 ounces for my size, which is a US women's 7.5. Definitely not the lightest road running shoe out there, but it does have that nylon speed board, which ultimately the trade-off for that might actually result in a faster run because you have the speed board compared to a lighter shoe that doesn't have as much structure to it. They have an 8mm drop from heel to toe. That's pretty average for a road running shoe. There are other road running shoes that I've enjoyed and reviewed on Trail Kale YouTube and also on our blog, trailandkale.com, that have lower heel to toe drop. And you can check those out by visiting our website and heading over to the running shoe reviews archives, where we've got hundreds of reviews of all different brands of road and trail running shoes. So this upper is made from recycled polyester, 100% recycled. It features some reflective details as well, which is a really nice feature if you're running in low light conditions on or around the roads. The shape of the shoe is interesting, so you can see it does have a bit of a rocker to it. Rockers are designed to encourage forward propulsion, so that makes sense that this shoe has it. You can see the front is very curved, and then you've got the more traditional cloud pods on the back here. Outsole, plenty of rubber compound on all the areas you'd expect. So this is the black black stuff here is quite thin, so it's not as thick as other road running shoes, so might wear down a bit quicker than ones that are maybe a bit heavier and have thicker rubber compounds. So something to think about if you shuffle a bit when you run. But there's some good texture on the sole here, and they've been pretty good on traction on things like loose leaves underfoot and minor wet patches in the roads. I haven't run in the truly wet conditions in these because I haven't had them that long, and we're here in California in June and it hasn't rained for months. So if you have run in these shoes in the wet, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know how you found the traction and share it in the comments below. So fit and sizing then, I think this is probably one of the biggest challenges with these shoes that I had when I've been testing them to run, is that I have my size, my regular size, which is a woman's 7.5. On says these shoes run true to size, but immediately on slipping these shoes on, I found them to be really pretty narrow. And as someone who has regular width feet, that was quite surprising to me. Maybe it's because the population of the women that they've used to design the last had narrow feet, and maybe my feet are a bit wide for women's feet, but not my experience based on the hundreds of running shoes I've reviewed. They are just a bit snug and a bit narrow, even with quite thin running socks on. In addition to being narrow, they are actually quite short in the length. And so if I got these shoes again, I would go up a half size or maybe even a full size, because I found that my toes were hitting the end of the shoes as I was running, which is definitely not what you want in a pair of running shoes. And if you have a pair that does that, they are definitely too small for you. So that is not a normal feeling, and you shouldn't be having that no matter how far or how fast you're running. That being said, if we move on to my performance review now, when I took them out on the run, I definitely noticed the performance angle of these shoes, and I definitely felt the benefit of the speed board. I'm someone who likes to land and take off in that midfoot, forefoot position. I'm always trying to work my form to have that more improved form with a midfoot landing and then rolling to take off on my forefoot. And these shoes definitely encourage that. I'd be really interested to know, if you're someone who tends to heel strike, if you were to run in these shoes, how you would find them. Because I think after the first mile or so, once you've got used to them, you're going to find that they're going to pretty much make you run in that slightly different position. And if you're looking to change your running form to that style, then these shoes are going to really help you do that. So it's super interesting to me. I definitely felt strong running in them. Looking at my stats from my Garmin watch, when I analyze it after and upload it to Strava, I could really tell that I was running, not putting much effort in, but running at the higher end of what I'd expect for that effort level. So these are going to be really good shoes if you enjoy running tempo runs, so tempo training, doing some interval training, and you really want to get that aggressive speed going. And if you're enjoying doing races of distances like 5Ks and 10Ks, I think these shoes are going to be fantastic for that, but just make sure you get the right size for you. If you're going to run longer distances than that, I personally would go for something with a little bit more cushioning. But if you're a faster runner, or you really like that sort of minimal responsive feel and you don't feel like your feet are getting too battered, then these could be great half marathon shoes for you as well. So wrapping up this review of the On Cloudspark then, I've already described what kind of runner they're for. So someone who wants to run fast, someone who wants to really make sure that they're taking off on that forefoot, they're getting that roll from heel to toe and shifting their form in that direction. They like the look of these shoes. Perhaps if you've got a narrower foot, these are going to really appeal to you, but make sure you go up at least a half size to make sure you get the right length in there for your toes as well. Whether they're worth $160, you can get other road running shoes that perform pretty well for $140, $150, but not with the nylon speedboard, not with this quality of construction that we've come to expect from all the reviews we've done of these On running shoes. They should last a really long time, with the caveat that if you shuffle your feet as you run, like you probably would with most running shoes, you're going to find that you wear down the rubber compound on the sole. So be mindful of that. But I think for $160, you're getting a really well-made, good quality pair of running shoes that are really going to offer you something different when it comes to enhancing your running form and hopefully your running speed, performance and achievement of PRs at the end of the day. That's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this review of the On Cloudspark, and if you did, please hit that like button and head over to our channel and subscribe for more road running shoes and trail running shoe reviews just like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.